Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. An update from Ukraine. What do we have here? Well, we got about 5 pieces of news. The Ukrainians supposedly pushed the Russians back on Pokrovsk front. They are in a very dangerous situation, precarious situation in the Lyman front. The Russians say that this piece of a weapon is one that actually creates such a destruction that they don't have to fire any shots when they get over there after they use this weapon. Supposedly NATO doesn't have that kind of weapon. The Russians also liberate another village settlement in Kursk Oblast. They push the invaders back and back and back. Then we find out that the Chinese are fighting in Ukraine. So the Chinese are fighting on Russia's side. According to this article from Ukrainska Pravda, 2 Chinese citizens were captured by the Ukrainians. And the last topic, adaptation is the mark of a superior entity. And there is, the Russians adapted to the Magura 6, naval drones that the Brits built for the Ukrainians, I'd say. And they created a layer of defensive, defense. So layered defense. It means you go to the first one, get the next one, third one, and so on. So let's start with the first topic, which is Russian forces liberate Guevo in Kursk region, opening path to strengthen offensive towards Sumy. So this according to Sputnik. And where is Guevo? Guevo is exactly right here. This is Kursk. This is where NATO invasion occurred using the Ukrainian nation. And it is Guevo where the Russians, I have only these 2 little pockets to kick out, right here and right here. So Guevo was liberated. They're pushing back, and in the same time they're advancing here towards Sumy Oblast. This is Sumy Oblast in Ukraine. This is Kursk. So it's right here. Now this is Belgorod Oblast, and the Ukrainians had a little invasion exactly here, but somehow nobody talks about it anymore. Even though I think I saw an article with Zelensky saying that yes, we are in Belgorod, but he didn't mention anything else. All right, so that's the first topic or first article. The second one, again from Sputnik, they're going to tell us about what actually helped the Russian troops capture enemy positions without firing one shot. So Russian flamethrowers, I'm going to explain what that is, enable troops to capture enemy position without firing one shot. These are the flamethrowers. I'm going to show you more in an article that is right below, right there. I'm going to show you, but let's read what these guys say in this article. Russia has a significant advantage over NATO in terms of heavy flamethrowers systems, which have proved their effectiveness during the special military operation. All right, and I'm quoting, heavy flamethrower systems that we produce are unique weapons which provide qualitative superiority on the battlefield. There have been situations when these systems let our troops take enemy positions without firing a single shot. There are no comparable analogs in the world, in particular in Western countries. We have made significant progress in this area of armaments, leaving NATO countries well behind. All right, they are talking about the TOS-2 Tochka heavy flamethrower system. So what can this guy do? Let's go to Sputnik. Russian, this is the one, the flamethrower that supposedly is so efficient that they don't have to even do anything after they release it into the front. Russia's TOS-1A Scorching Sunlight is a unique and a devastatingly powerful multiple rocket launcher system designed to engage and destroy heavily fortified positions, armored vehicles, and area targets with high explosive incendiary HEI rockets. The accuracy of the TOS-1A Solntsepyok heavy flamethrower system has been increased to masters. Vladimir Pop. According to him, the troops of radiological, chemical, and biological defense have requested to create a new operation system that would shorten the time of stay of the TOS 1 minute in combat position. That is, quickly, pop, beat it. All right, so this is what the Russians claim, that this flamethrower system really improved their advantage, and NATO doesn't have it. Okay, it's hard. New voice of Ukraine, and we call them, weren't there in the Second World War they were called Katyushas? I think so, and they were the same thing. If you remember Katyusha, you like the let's go. Next, new voice of Ukraine. Ukrainian forces improved positions in Pokrovsk sector. Pokrovsk, Vobistu. So, okay, Pokrovsk is exactly right here in Donetsk. So the Ukrainians claim they improved positions. This is Krasnoarmeysk, that's how the Russians call it, in Pokrovsk sector, right in this area. So let's see what these guys are claiming. Ukrainian forces pushed back Russian troops in the village of Shevchenkovye in the Pokrovsk sector of Donetsk Oblast, the DeepState monitoring group reported. At the same time, according to updated maps on the front lines, the enemy was able to advance near the Ukrainian villages of Novolyubivka and the city of Shasir Yar, as well near the Russian settlement of Guevo, the one that I talked, in Kursk Oblast, Shasir Yar. So again, they talk about this area in here, and we talk about Shasir Yar, which is exactly here, west of Artemovsk or Bakhmut, right there. So the Russians advance here. Supposedly these guys are doing something in this area with the Pokrovsk front, and obviously the Russians, according even to the Ukrainians, are pushing back the invaders in Guevo, exactly there. Next, Ukrainian soldiers push Russians back near Pokrovsk, but lose positions on other fronts. The same thing. Correct? Correct. So let's see. Ukrainian troops have pushed Russian forces back near the village of Shevchenko. That's exactly the same article we used before. So they're talking about Shevchenko, located south of Pokrovsk. So Pokrovsk, as I said, is right here south of Pokrovsk. All right, let's move to the next article. Situation on Lyman front deteriorates, according to Ukrainians. In some areas, there are 10 Russians for every Ukrainian soldier, whereas Lyman front is a little bit north in this area right here. Is Lyman in this area. Lyman, Krasny Lyman, it's another Lyman somewhere in here. So this is the Lyman front. This is in, if you look down here, it is Kharkov Oblast. This is Luhansk, this is Donetsk. So in here, this is Lyman front, according to the Ukrainians, correct? And it's 10 Russians for every Ukrainian soldier. So that is a call for mobilization of 18-year-old Ukrainians. As the Russians say, you're going to be fighting until the last Ukrainians. And then it's okay, you're going to bring some people from different continents, for example, Africa, and they will recreate the Ukrainian nation with Ukrainian women. All right, let's move on. The situation on the Lyman front has worsened over the past month, with Russian forces deploying large numbers of infantry and using many drones, including those with fiber optic control. We can confirm that the situation has really worsened in the past month. That means not good at all. If you confirm that, that means it's 3 times worse. The Russians are pressing with an enormous amount of infantry. They simply have a lot of it. This can be large or small infantry groups that take advantage of weather conditions. So they take advantage, but it's like, I always dislike when I watch a football game or I hear about a football game, and let's say Barcelona plays against Real Madrid or something. And then let's say Real Madrid loses, and Real Madrid, let's say, start claiming, yeah, we lost because the weather was, it was raining. But wasn't that all raining on the Barcelona team players and the players? Only on you? The field was only mushy on when you were attacking, but when they were attacking was just nice or something? No, you played on the same conditions, the same here. Advantage these guys. Why? Because you don't see them, but they don't see you too. So, anyway, move on. They are doing everything to break in our combat formations, get into our rear. We like that. Get in our rear as fast as possible and deep as possible and cause damage, and lots of it. Yeah, I like this. Who's this person? I think she's a woman. No. Where is Anastasia? So Anastasia Blishchuk, I like you. That's what she said. They are doing everything to break into our combat formations, get in our rear as fast as possible. I would say deep as possible, and cause. Oh my God! Let's move on, man. Let's move on. Next article right here. Ukrainska Pravda. Ukrainian troops captured 2 Chinese citizens fighting on Russia's side. Video. Shoo. All right. Ukrainian troops in Donetsk Oblast have captured 2 Chinese nationals who were fighting in the of the Russian military. Man, this coffee was good. And I'm quoting, our military captured 2 Chinese citizens who fought as part of the Russian military. This happened in Donetsk Oblast, the territory of Ukraine. We have the documents of these prisoners, their bank cards, okay, and personal data. What's that, 3-inch? We have information suggesting that the number of Chinese nationals serving in units of the invaders is significantly higher than 2. That's 3. 3.5. A dog and a cat. We are currently gathering information. Intelligence, the Security Service of Ukraine, and appropriate armed forces units have been involved. And now, I have instructed Ukraine's foreign ministry to immediately contact Beijing and determine how China is going to respond to this. Can I show you? Read between the lines. That's what the Chinese is going to say. The gloves have been taken off a long time ago, okay? See you on the global market. All right. Well, is it true? That's what they claim. All right, my friends, China. All right, and the last topic, right, is with Ukrainska Pravda. Russia builds layered defense. Adaptation. Naval drone attacks become more difficult. That means less effective, Ukrainian Navy says. Russia has built a layered defense systems, which has made it harder for Ukraine to carry out attacks using unscrewed surface vessels. Vice Admiral Alexei Chipanzev, commander of the naval forces of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, in an interview with Kim Jong-un, Radio Liberty project. There was a time when we could calmly enter Sevastopol Bay with naval drones. Correct. But now it is not that simple. The enemy has set up a layered defense system. It begins with a layered detection system, long-range, mid-range, and close-range zones for detecting our unscrewed systems. Then comes the procedure for destroying them. And of course, to overcome it, we have to make different decisions, technical decisions. First of all, we need to be more flexible, go to gymnastics, smarter, go to school, and always ahead in technology. Those naval drones that were just kamikaze are already nearly history. Now all USVs must be able to carry various types of weapons with different methods of use to be more effective and to achieve success. There have been a few uses more or less successful, and they are working on it. Yes, my friends. So, adaptation. The Ukrainians adapted, the Russians adapted. It seems like the Russians adapted faster than the NATO geniuses because they're crying about losing and they want to discuss peace. Surprisingly, on their terms, even though they're losing. Unless they're going to get on in a head-on war with Russia, they will be losing because the Russians, it seems like, are smarter nowadays than the Europeans. Why? Look at the European education system or the American education system. They create baboons. All right. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.